pages and panels of comic books are saturated with monsters, mutants, deities, non-corporeal magical beings, and superhumans of various extraterrestrial and interdimensional origins. The repeating parable of a normal person being forced to filter their established worldview through a newly acquired godlike perspective has served as the crux to nearly every superhero/villain tale told over the past several decades. Considering this environment, it's no surprise that the cliche of absolute power corrupts absolutely has become an antiquated fallback for many superhero stories. Readers have become hardened to seeing a person spiral down a path of darkness because their morality is unable to compensate for the new, boundless freedom presented by a novel set of superpowers. While the convoluted continuity of comic book storytelling is honeycombed with this idea, the story of Batman has remained relatively unmarred by its presence. Batman has never been that interested in the traditional definition of power. He doesn't have any superpowers and never seems to need or want any. He bests the most powerful entities in the universe without the need for super strength or super speed or any other vestigial ability. Power to him comes from intelligence, preparedness, and vigilance. This is an idea that the Darkseid Wars Batman #1 understands in full. So when it decides to tempt Batman with absolute power, it distorts its definition of power to match Batman's definition. In doing so, this issue takes a tired idea and creates a new avenue of thought. During the events of Justice League number 42, Wonder Woman pulled Metron from his Mobius chair and Batman sat down in his place. When he did this, Batman became the god of knowledge, and the Mobius chair basically gave Batman access to all the information in the entire universe. The Darkseid Wars Batman #1 picks up with Batman using his newfound powers to do exactly what you would expect: fight crime on the streets of Gotham. The Mobius chair allows Batman to read the minds of everyone in Gotham, and he uses this power to apprehend people before they even commit a crime. This Minority Report style justice doesn't sit well with Commissioner Gordon. The justice system doesn't allow people to be prosecuted for crimes they haven't committed, so everyone Batman brings in, Gordon is forced to release. This doesn't stop Batman. He begins to enact his own versions of justice. He uses the power of the chair to strand a group of would-be armed robbers in Antarctica and to transport a man who planned to murder his wife to Themyscira, so the Amazons can educate him on how to treat women. These scenes demonstrate the subtle beginnings of Batman's corruption by the chair. Normally, Batman's brand of righteousness has always been crutched by a belief in the criminal justice system. He doesn't kill or imprison criminals himself, he just catches them and turns them over to the authorities. Now that he has become a god, Batman could continue to fight crime in the same way he always has, just with increased efficiency. But instead, he has implemented an all-new system of apprehension and punishment. While his actions are the same in principle, catch bad guys, keep Gotham safe, etc., there is something very perverse about the way he's balancing the scales. The ironic nature and exaggerated cruelness of his constigations are more like the actions of Satan portrayed in works of literature than they are of Batman. There's a personal joy in these actions that has never been present in the way Batman operates. Things get much more personal when Batman decides to pay a visit to the man who killed his parents, Joe Chill. Chill is in prison. By Batman's old standards, this would be justice. But this new divine Batman doesn't feel shackled to that belief anymore. He has seen new, more elaborate, and more satisfying versions of reparation. And with the power of the chair, Chill is no longer off limits. Batman abducts Chill from his cell and takes him to the scene of his parents' murder. He chastises Chill, monologuing about what form real justice for the murders would take. Batman begins to lower the Mobius chair onto Joe Chill, pinning him to the ground. This is a very interesting moment to visualize. In a way, this is the actualization of what Bruce Wayne has been trying to achieve since he became Batman. Every time he defeats a villain or stops a crime, it's really just a pantomime of this scene. Batman bringing justice to the man that took his parents. As Joe Chill is slowly being crushed under the chair, Batman reaches up and pulls off his cowl, revealing himself to be Bruce Wayne. He wants Joe Chill to understand what he has done. He wants Chill to know that all the years he thought he was haunting the nightmares of the little boy he left alive in that alley, all the years he thought he was a boogeyman, in reality, All he had done was create a boogeyman for the criminals of Gotham. Batman returns Chill to his cell and uses the power of the chair to make him forget everything that just happened. This detail seems like nothing more than a continuity-preserving contrivance, but it has massive implications. When he wipes Chill's mind, he removes all implications that anything he did had any real moral purpose. If Chill doesn't remember it, it means that what Batman did, he did for himself. Bruce Wayne used the mantle of Batman for masturbatory purposes. He tortured and punished a man because it gave him satisfaction. This is the moment the reader is meant to see what godhood has turned Batman into. He is no longer an instrument of moral balance. He is an entity that uses the guise of justice to mollify a personal injury. With this revelation, a series of very disturbing questions are presented. Has Batman always been a selfish endeavor? Has the credo of justice just been a pretext to medicate a resentment for one man? Do these questions color every bit of good Batman has ever done? If he's capable of this, what else is Batman the God of Knowledge capable of? Weird World has always been a book that has the narrative discipline of a 4-year-old who's trying to tell you about his day. But for this final issue, it's like they gave the 4-year-old Coca-Cola and cocaine